Uh, Before we go live, for all scouts, please note to keep it's like a journey without a destination. We are gathered here to improve and learn things that are needed to deliver a speech with a purpose. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lead Through Communication 101 event, which is a series of sessions organized by the Colombo Scout Youth Advisory Group and conducted by the Toastmasters of District 82. These sessions are designed to help the Scouts on their proficiency badges, orator and speaker, and for the non-Scout participants, these sessions will help your public speaking ability and communication skills. With that said, I would like to hand over the program to Toastmaster Hashini De Silva, who will be moderating this event. Toastmaster?
Thank you very much, Nissen Veerakoon. So, all of you decided to attend the second day of the Lead Through Communication 101 series. Whatever the reason may be, congratulations. We're glad that you're taking your first step towards improving your communication and leadership skills. As Confucius once said, even the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying small stones. A very good morning to all of you logged on to the second half of Lead Through Communication 101, a series of knowledge sharing sessions on public speaking organized by the Colombo Scout Youth Advisory in collaboration with District 82 of Toastmasters International. For those of you who missed the session yesterday, I'm Hashni Silva, the moderator of this segment. Having concluded three successful sessions on Introduction to Toastmasters, Organizing a Speech, and Meeting Management, today we are here to discover the art of impromptu speaking, hear more about Toastmasters, and learn the art of leadership by Toastmaster Tharindu Amarasekara, Distinguished Toastmaster Modha Sendanayaka, and Distinguished Toastmaster Samin M. Salim, respectively. Just a quick reminder before we kickstart today's proceedings, the program will be conducted on the normal Zoom platform, not on webinar mode. Therefore, just like Nitin mentioned, I would like to request you to keep your mics muted and maybe your videos off as well, unless otherwise, of course, requested by our speakers. This is so that the session can be conducted without any disturbances. Thank you very much. Now, the American writer Mark Twain once said that it usually takes a man, or usually takes him, more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech. Now, as our first speaker today, we have an eminent Toastmaster who is going to prove Mark Twain wrong. He is a national and international award winning speaker with lecturing and mentoring experience spanning over 12 years. He is the CEO and the founder of two organizations, has consulted over 100 organizations in the past 7 years in HR and branding, and is the author of the book on impromptu public speaking, TOFSYM, and has trained and coached over 2,500 executives within 4 years across Asia in leadership, communication, and branding. He's also a certified coach in NLP techniques. He has been ranked among the top 100 impromptu public speakers in the world in 2015 after winning the Toastmasters District 82 Impromptu Championship. And at present, he's ranked among the top 6 public speakers of Sri Lanka. Further, he was also the Roundtable Sri Lanka National President in 2019-20. So please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Parindu Amarasekara. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Dear friends, it's an absolute privilege and an honor to be here in front of you on this beautiful Sunday morning and share my thoughts with you on how you can be involved and master impromptu speaking. In other words, what I call tough sim, thinking on feet and speaking your mind. Now, my journey into Toastmasters is something that happened quite by accident, especially in terms of impromptu speaking. But before I get to that, let me tell you why I find myself truly privileged and an honor to be in front of you today and speak to the scouts on this beautiful morning. I myself, back in year 3, I definitely did try being a cub. You start with cubbing, I believe. Still, I believe that's the system. And what happened was, as what happened to a lot of kids of the 1990s, or at least those who started schooling in the 1990s, the tuition race took over. And I had to choose between tuition classes and going for cubbing or scouting. And unfortunately, I chose the former. And as a result, today, I believe I'm quite good with some of my maths and science, but I still might struggle to make a cup of tea or tie a decent knot. But I do consider myself honored to be in front of you today and speak to you all, especially because this is a time where we live in a world that a lot of fingers are being pointed at men. That's right. With various concerns, with various allegations, there's a lot of fingers being pointed at men. And I believe tomorrow's men, or rather today's boys, are tomorrow's men. And if we can train, if we can bring out better class, better quality, better character among the young boys of today, then we have nothing to worry, nothing to fear about the men of tomorrow. And I believe coming scouting is involved in that great endeavor, and it's an absolute pleasure to be a part of that. When I started my Toastmasters journey back in 2014, I had no intention to be involved in impromptu speaking. In fact, when I see the segment coming up, I used to be the guy, the impromptu speaking segment coming up. I used to be the guy who just takes a look at the phone and says, "Excuse me," and walks off. The very first time I competed was when I never wanted to compete in impromptu speaking. Until my name was called that day, I had no intention to be a part of the impromptu speaking contest. And I told my mentor at that time, one of my lecturers for the MBA as well, TM Sandun Fernando. And I said, "Sir, I am not prepared for impromptu speaking." He said, "Don't worry, Tarindu. This is about speaking without preparation." Right? He has this unique skill of smiling at things that are horrifying. When you become a Toastmaster, you will acquire that skill too. That's called facial expressions. Now, I competed, and then yes, I got to the finals that year in Goa. gave a horrible speech, and then something kicked in. Something said, you need to get better at this. And I spoke to my other mentor, DTM Raj, who was also later the Toastmasters International president. And he said, Tanvi, what do you do when a topic is given to you? I said, sir, I start talking. He said, Tanvi, that's what everybody does. If you want to be unique, do something different. And I spent one entire year coming up with a system that can be used, a system that can be implemented, where when a topic is given, you can speak according to that system. In other words, a prepared system to speak without preparation. And what I'm going to share with you today is some of the techniques, some of the tips which I have actually figured out or developed as a part of that system. My dear scouts and my dear Toastmasters, before we get to the tips and techniques, let me tell you why it's really important that we master this craft, master this art of speaking without preparation. Take a good look at your entire day in any given day. Most of the communication is without preparation. Let's say in your next scouting trip, when your master asks you something, or if you are visiting a school and all of a sudden the principal there is telling you to, speak a few words, you can't say that you need 1 week to prepare. You can't say that you need 4 days or 3 days to prepare. No, you have to start speaking immediately. You come to the workplace, you come to the corporate world, 99% of the communication is without preparation. You have absolutely no time at all to prepare. They will ask you questions, you have to immediately start speaking. You go for a company just to talk to one person, and without you realizing, they have organized 10 people to actually listen to you. All right. They have organized 10 people to actually listen to you. Okay. So, my friends, it's very clear that most of the time you have absolutely no time at all to prepare in your communication. And that is exactly why, my friends, that is exactly why you need to master this art of impromptu speaking. So today, over the next few minutes that we have, I will be sharing with you certain tips and tricks, which I hope will help you in order to make sure that you are ready the next time you are asked to speak without preparation. Yeah? I would also like to make a request before I get started from the Zoom master of this meeting to quickly admit or reject whoever that is coming in, because it's a little disturbing when the screens keep popping up and people want to enter the waiting room, enter the meeting. So please do quickly accept, admit or reject it without any delay. Thank you. So, my friends, the first thing which I like to mention here, the first thing which I like to mention in terms of a technique for impromptu speaking is, if you're going for an event, go prepared. For example, you as a scout, you might be attending a particular corporate event. You as a particular scout might be attending a particular scouting event. And at that point of time, you need to go in prepared, knowing the background of that particular organization, knowing if it's an international event, maybe knowing the background of that particular country. All right. It's important that you do that, because then that automatically gives you ammo, that automatically gives you ammunition to speak at that event. I personally believe, and I personally think that your founder, Ben Powell, I believe he would have been a fantastic Toastmaster, because I was reading some of the things that he had actually mentioned, and I saw that he had at one point said that rather than by speaking, you can learn almost double or a lot more than that by observing. And that is exactly the ethos of Toastmasters as well, right? As much as you are a good speaker, you need to be a good listener as well. So when you go for an event, go with an idea about the culture. For example, as a part of Roundtable International, when I visited certain countries and promoted the Roundtable World meeting we were having in Sri Lanka. So I was given the fun task of going and speaking to the British audience and also to the Dutch audience in Netherlands. And when I go for these events, I will always go with a little story or here and there, a little bit of a humor. A lot of people make the mistake that they think, oh, we have suddenly been asked to speak. Let's be very serious now. That's not necessarily how it works, right? That's not necessarily how it works. You can be funny. You can be a little jovial. People enjoy a joke here and there. So, for example, when I went and spoke to the British, I said, we invite you to come and see our beautiful country in this world meeting, but please do return before your visa expires, because the last time you came, you did not go back for another 133 years. Yeah, because 1815 they landed, or rather 1815 they were here, and then they only left back in 1948. When I went and visited the Dutch people, I said the same thing. I said, come and see the beautiful forts we have built and the beautiful fortresses that we have. And then I said, okay, wait a minute, that was actually built by you guys, so thank you for that. So always when you're going for an event, go with an idea of the history, if it's an international event, or if it's a company event or a particular event organized by an organization, go with an idea about that particular organization, because you never really know when you will be called for something. You never really know when you will be invited for something to speak. All right. Number one. Number two, my friends, most of the time, people think that when they are called upon to speak, people think that, oh, we have been called to give a very boring message. Not at all. Okay. I've heard speeches, and believe me, I've given those speeches which are extremely boring, extremely, I would say, difficult to listen. For example, let me tell you this. Now, the first time I competed in impromptu speaking, what we call table topics, and when I went to the finals, and when the topic given to me, I'll never forget that topic, because to this date, my friends, I believe that it's the worst speech I have ever given in my whole life, where they said the topic was, if you don't stand by something, you fall for anything. Okay. And I went on stage, I said, values are important. Values are what makes us who we are. Values are what you need to stick to so you can keep going. Now, of course, yes, I had at that point of time what I call a bit of an overload of motivational speaking in me. I have been watching so many motivational videos right throughout, and I've been watching so many motivational clips on YouTube that when I went there, I just tried to deliver a fruit salad of all of those motivational speeches. Yeah. And it's like sometimes, if you're into martial arts or if you're into karate, right, you watch Mortal Kombat and go, or those days you used to watch Bruce Lee films and go, and in that one tournament, first fight, you try to apply a mix of all those techniques that you saw, and your karate master is like, what the hell was that you were trying? Those were not our style. Okay. So same thing happened to me, my friends. All right. So the winner, on the other hand, the person who won, right, a Toastmaster from India, he came and he gave a completely different speech. He said, my first Toastmaster meeting, I was scared. They gave me a topic. I spoke about Mickey Mouse. I spoke about this Tweety and Sylvester, right? Thank you. And then he showed how he gave that speech. He said what the evaluator said about how he spoke for 40 minutes, but out of that 40 minutes, about 30 minutes were basically what we call as 30 minutes were more to do with, let's say, pauses and slowing down, right? And clear winner on that day. He was a clear winner, and he spoke his story out. Okay. So the next year, when I competed, when I participated, and I went into the finals, right? They gave the topic saying, I was not made for this. I was not made for this. That was the topic that they gave. And this time, I took a different approach as well. I spoke about my first time playing golf. All right. first time playing golf. And I still remember what I shared, and I still remember that horrifying experience where, when you're playing golf, you have been seeing golf before that on TV, and you think one swing and the ball goes what? All the way and lands right in the hole, what you call a hole in one. So I also did the same, eyes closed, took a full swing, and I actually, when I opened my eyes, I was so happy to see the ball falling just under that hole that it was supposed to go. Now, mind you, my friend, this is what you call a three par hole. That means you're supposed to get there in 3 shots. But here I was getting it in almost the first shot. Right? And I looked at the guy who carries the bag. The caddy, I said, "Caddy, what do you think? Good, right?" And I remember the caddy saying, "Matya, taravennepa." And then to my biggest shock, the ball I was supposed to hit was still near my feet. And it took me 13 shots to get there. Nothing actually went on the air. Everything was going along the ground. So share a story, because people will always connect better with a story. My friends, many of you, I believe, are young, still schooling. Let me ask you this. Is it easy? And you can, yes, if you want to, you can comment on the chat, no problem. Listening to a 3-hour lecture continuously, listening to a 3-hour school lecture continuously on Zoom, is it easy? Is it painful? Is it enjoyable? Or is it torture? What do you say? Yes, I'm getting a few messages. Torture. Yes, what else? Okay, painful, horrifying. Okay. Correct. But now 3 hours, you're saying you can't listen to a lecture. Boring, painful, torture. My friends, Avengers, right? Avengers, okay, one person is saying joyful. I sense the sarcasm in that, right? Joyful for the lecturer maybe, but not for you, I understand, yes. I'm also a lecturer and I'm also a student, so I understand. But Avengers movie, watching it for hours and hours, binge watching or watching the entire series of Blacklist or some Netflix TV series for, let's say, hours and hours. Okay, people still do that. Why? It's a story, my friends. People connect better with stories. So now when I say story, please don't get me wrong. Please don't try to go and have a situation where you keep telling Nelson Mandela's story and the story of, let's say, we'll take someone like Gandhi and all that. No, don't keep on repeating those stories. No, instead, tell your own story, because most of the time we keep repeating, all right? Most of the time we keep repeating stories of other people while we really fail to tell our own story. So tell your own story. Maybe I believe that having gone in a lot of scouting events and camps and all that, I believe you have a lot of stories to share. Maybe some stories you can't share. Okay. But whatever you can share, my friends, the interesting ones, the fun ones, okay, those stories, please do share, because people will listen to them in interest. In fact, today we see a huge shift and a huge trend where for a lot of speaking events, they invite not the traditional speakers, but they invite speakers like mountaineers. They invite speakers like archaeologists, history experts, scientists who have a story which is worth sharing. So even for you, I would like to ask you, do you have some stories that are worth sharing? One famous public speaking international world championship finalist once said that talk about something in your speeches that you just can't stop talking about. Maybe there is some experience you always love to share. Talk about that. Okay. So, my friends, that's the second tip I have to share with you. Have a story to share. Have a story to share. The third thing that I want to mention to you is make it funny. That's right. Make it funny. Share a joke. Share something funny, because most of the time, if you are at an event, now you might understand that impromptu speaking or speaking without preparation is not something that is limited only to Toastmasters. No. In the corporate world, there are so many instances where you need to what? Start speaking. Okay. Last week, I was supposed to be the Zoom master for the particular webinar. And there was a moderator. Unfortunately, the moderator in the last minute, the moderator had another event to attend, and the moderator was able to log in and do the initial intro. But beyond that, the speaking part, he was not available. And he called me and said, Tarindu, can you continue? All right. I had like literally 3 minutes to become the moderator and start asking the questions. And that's the level of flexibility we need. And being scouts, I know for sure that you guys are very, very flexible, isn't it? I mean, you guys go and camp in places that are absolutely unbelievable. Your campfires and all these fun stuff. I mean, when I say campfire, yes, some people actually make it a campfire and set the camp on fire also. I've had friends who have done like that. We once went camping and then realized the guy who was supposed to bring the tent had forgotten it. So we actually did the camping, but inside the vehicle that night. But there are so much of flexibility in you guys. You guys are trained for flexibility. So when you are ready to come and start speaking without any preparation, share something fun, share a joke, share something funny that has happened. Because if you want to speak in a manner where you get remembered, you need to be funny, my friends. You need to share something interesting, something embarrassing that may have happened to you. All right. So please, and especially nowadays, when we are talking over Zoom, when we are having so much of communication over Zoom, there is so much of funny things happening, isn't it? You have the camera on too early, or you have the camera on a little too late, and some funny things, of course, happen. Okay. So share something interesting, share something fun, because people will always remember when you share something interesting. To this day, when I go for events of Toastmasters, I meet so many people who don't know my name, who have absolutely no clue about who I am. But they tell me, wait, you're that golf guy, you know, the one who missed the ball, right? In Sinhalese, or sometimes they ask, "Bole missune wata ned?" Okay. So be funny, share a joke so that people will remember. Okay. Number 4, my friends, pay attention to your body. That's right. When we are confident to speak, most of the time we will be like, okay, I'm ready. Here I am. I'm ready to speak. But what happens when all of a sudden they mention your name? Let's say, for example, if I take, okay, a lot of people have not put their real name, very smart. But let's say, for example, if you're not prepared and all of a sudden they mention your name and you're like, right? You're looking for something to hide. You're looking for something to hide behind. Now, if your structure is like mine, finding something to hide behind is a very, very arduous, difficult task. So our body language naturally reacts in a manner where our shoulders drop, the chin drops, right? Our chest comes inwards and, you know, we are very scared. And then when we walk in, we walk like this. Versus when we are ready, where we walk like this. Clear difference, my friends. Remember, anyone can be confident. Anyone can look confident when they are confident. Anyone can look confident when they are confident. But if you are to look confident when you are not so confident, that takes practice. So sometimes I would, before going for an event, I would actually assume myself, because when you're a Toastmaster, people think that you're always ready to speak. So before going for some event, corporate event, representing one of the organizations I'm attached to, I will always assume, okay, if I was invited to speak, what will I say? And even if they announce my name, I'll quickly pay attention to my body. I have time until I get to the stage. I have time to figure out what I am going to speak. But I need to always think in my mind and be ready. Okay, they mentioned now we invite Tarandu Amarsekar a few words. All right. Shoulders up, chin up, chest forward. Here I am. Let's talk. So pay attention to your body language, especially when you are invited to speak without preparation. Make sure that your body language projects confidence, because end of the day, my friends, a confident communicator is always seen as a competent communicator. Say it with me. A confident communicator is always seen as a competent communicator. So there are 4 things we spoke about today. Number 1, when you're going for an event, always go with a little background information about that event, about that country, etc. Number 2, share a story. Number 3, tell something funny so that people will remember. Number 4, pay attention to your body language. Pay attention to your body language. And number 5, and the 5th and the final tip that I want to share with you, eye contact. Do you know what I love about Zoom? Is the fact that I can make eye contact with everybody in the audience. That's right. We, as speakers, have an amazing opportunity through Zoom to make an eye contact with each and every person in the audience. But once COVID is gone, due to an injection or due to a pannier or a syrup, okay, once COVID is gone, I'm quite sure when we go back to our normal ways of life, there will be a lot of actual big physical events. Now, a lot of the time, my friends, the mistake that people do is they either make no eye contact at all, or they make very fast eye contact. You are looking at an audience, okay, and a lot of people, they will just look at one direction and speak. We call it the invisible audience member, because people like to pretend as if they are making eye contact with someone who is not even there. And you also look back to see at whom is this person looking, and there is absolutely no one. And the other mistake that people do is they think eye contact means you are looking at everyone. So they will start speaking and they will, I'm very happy to be here today. I hope all of you are having a good time. And I hope that what I have to share with you will be, and your head starts to spin when you're trying to follow that person's eye contact. It happens to the best of us. So my friends, my advice to you is, if you're looking at an audience, in your mind, break it down into segments. Left, middle, right. And when you're speaking, speak for a bit, but most importantly, you pick the left segment and you look at one person and talk. Because when you look at one person and talk, the angle of sight, AOS, or the angle of light works in such a manner that if you look at one person, everybody in that direction and maybe in the 2-3 rows next to each other also will end up thinking, hey, this person is looking at me. All right. Then you come to this side, you pick one person and you talk, and everyone in that line begins to feel, wow, this person is actually speaking to me. So once you do that, your eye contact is also quite complete. Your eye contact is well, I would say improved with the audience members, and they feel, okay, this person truly spoke to me. So with those 5 tips, you will be able to make sure, I believe the first 3 I mentioned are more about the content, and the last 2 I mentioned are more about the delivery. Remember, speaking without preparation takes practice. Every opportunity you get hereafter, use it. If there is an opportunity to speak, use it. Speak in those opportunities. It's like any sport. The more you practice, the more you prepare, the more you master it. You can watch so many videos, you can read so many books, good. But the only way to be a good cook or a chef is by doing more cooking. The best way to be a good driver is by more driving. And the best way to be a good speaker is by speaking. My friends, I would now like to take this opportunity and invite a volunteer to whom I could give a topic, and ideally the volunteer will be able to put some of these techniques into use and deliver a speech, and maybe I can share my humble opinion on that so that that speaker can learn and also all of you could also learn. Any volunteers? Do we have any volunteers who would like to take up this opportunity? I have a very nice and simple topic.
So is it with the video?
Yes, with the video, and maybe even if it's not with the video, it's still okay. Although I won't be able to judge or evaluate your facial expressions per se, and it's only for 2 minutes. Don't worry, it's only for 2 minutes. Not more than that.
My camera is not working, but can I get switch?
Absolutely, why not? Why not? May I know your name, son?
My name is Jishnu, sir.
Jishnu from ATFSC 27?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. Jishnu, how are you feeling today? All good? Ready?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Jishnu, the topic I'm giving for you today is called In Life, Take the Bitter with a Sweet. In life, take the bitter with a sweet. Jishnu, over to you.
A great person once said that the failing is the first step to success. So in life, there are many moments where you fail embarrassingly. Even though you try to do your best and give all your effort towards it, you fail really embarrassingly. But you should always take it with a good attitude and a great deal of confidence so that each and every person will look at you and learn from you. So taking the bitter with the sweet is a great way to to make yourself a better person and a better speaker. So what are some ways to take the bitter with the sweet? When you fail, don't take it as a failure, but take it as a first step and focus not on how people reacted, but on how you could improve and do better. And step by step, maybe you will get better and you will get a better person. When I was a bit younger, I delivered a speech called Nature. It was simple speech, really simple and really short speech for about half a minute. I told everybody it was a really common mistake, but I told to everybody that nature is not important. I was about to say something else, but it just came out of my mouth. And then everybody started giving me weird looks. I didn't even know why. But then only one of my friends told me, "You said that." And I was so embarrassed. I straight away after I went to my house, I sat in my room, locked in myself in my room, and felt so embarrassed. Then my mother told me, "Don't look it like that. Get better." So bit by bit, I also became better. And now I can speak almost anything without making common mistakes, such as word formation mistakes and stuff like that. So always don't look at the failures as a failure, but as a next step to success. Thank you.
Can we all give an excellent round of applause for that wonderful speech by young, I would say, Scout Jishnu? Can we all give I believe we can do the clapping using Zoom. Yes, it is. Very well done, Jishnu. Fantastic. I think you really nailed it there. Congratulations on a wonderful speech. And I definitely think that you have come a long way from that first speech and you have become a much fantastic speaker now. So if you look at Jishnu's speech, one thing is he has a very commanding voice, which is fantastic. You have a very attention-grabbing voice, which is good. Secondly, Jishnu, I really like about how you shared a personal experience, and especially that going to the room, locking ourselves in the room, that is something we all have done at some point of time. So it becomes much easier to connect. It becomes much easier to connect well with that particular kind of a situation. So very well done to you on that. Also, notice, my friends, how in his speech, he started with his thinking, he brought in a story, he ended with another message to us, right, in terms of how we can also overcome our bitter moments in life. Now, Jishnu, if I may share my humble opinion on how we can take this excellent speech and make it an even fantastic one. Number one, I would say that bring in a little bit more humor, especially when you said that people started giving you weird looks. If you can bring an example for that, like for example, where you say people started looking at me like I was an alien, or people started looking at me and you give something funny, something more interesting, something that will make people actually laugh, right? Where you say people started looking at me as if I was a character from a teledrama, that the character died last night and the character is back again on TV now. That happens a lot in our kind of teledramas and events, isn't it? Even recently we saw this very fun teledrama, like a little short YouTube video where Sanka dies and we have what? Asanka. Okay. So, I mean, if you can really connect with the people on a humorous point like that, I feel you would have also made it more impactful. And also, Jishnu, I would like to recommend to you that when you are giving a speech, you can also look at starting with the story. Because sometimes when you start with a particular theme, bring in a story again, and that might be a little confusing. If you started with the story, and then if you could actually end with the message, that keeps the things a lot more simpler. And you did say that at one point, let's see, different ways, but then you really did mention and elaborate on one way. So I would also recommend to you that because it's a very short speech and about 2 minutes, stick to one message that you are delivering. And in summary, that was a fantastic speech. You really did nail it. You kept us going throughout that entire speech and interested to listen to what you have to say. Do work on your humor skills, and also I hope the next time your mic and your camera will be on so we get to see you in full expression. And always keep it simple with one challenge which you are solving and one solution which you are giving. I really hope that all speakers of this country will have the same courage that you faced that day, and rather after that day, to keep going and come out of the mistakes, forget the mistakes they've made, and become the better version of themselves, because that's what this is all about. Thank you. So well done, Jishnu, and that was an excellent speech. My friends, I believe I have now come to the end of my presentation. If there are any questions that anyone would like to ask, this would be the moment. I must say though that definitely the topic I gave Jishnu was a little tough one, right? It's one of those topics I have got as well, probably the toughest one I have faced so far in my life. That's the topic I got in the round 3 of the Toastmaster competitions back in 2015 in impromptu speaking. And so I would say, Jishnu, for your young age, you tackled it way better than I did. So well done. Any questions? I believe I have time for about 2 questions. Any questions that anyone would like to ask? Are there any specific ways to gain information on topics and everything? Most of the time when you are given a topic, it will be relatable to one common theme. In my experience, I have seen it to be either to do with hope, courage, belief, right? Then attitude, the never give up attitude. You can connect most 99% of these topics to one such theme. And all what you need to do is have a story ready for each theme, so that when the topic is given, you can connect with the theme and start speaking. Number one. The second question I saw that somebody asking, how do you overcome stage fright? If someone has the answer for that, I would like to know the answer too. My friends, despite being a Toastmaster for 5 years, rather 6 years now, still, if I go to a competition stage and if it's a finals, I am tensed. I am nervous. All right. I'm tensed. I'm nervous. But I've come to realize that being a good speaker is not about not having fear at all. It's about having respect towards that fear, acknowledging the fear, and keep doing your thing. Fear will always be there. Fear is like this karapincha what you put to the food. Why? Without fear, there would be no taste in your victory. Without fear, without challenges, there would be no flavor to your success. But of course, we don't end up eating the karapincha, we throw it away. But having said that, we did definitely put it to make it tasty. So acknowledge it there and keep going your journey. There's another question asking how to stay connected to the topic. Okay. So while you're speaking, always every 1 minute or 2 minutes, ask yourself, what am I saying now? What am I going to say next? How is it connected to the topic? Sometimes, yes, you can get carried away. Happens to the best of us. But you need to ask yourself, what am I saying now? What am I saying next? Is it connected to the topic? And if the answer is no, then you can quickly come back and, adjust or readjust what you were saying. There was a question about stammer. Okay. My friends, I've seen people who stammer. They've given some of the best speeches I've ever listened to. Okay. It's not, most of the time, it's not about I would say the quantity of what you say. It's about the quality of what you say. Even with a stammer, if you can speak and share a message, people will still listen. I've had students who have come to me and said, sir, I can't speak. I have a stammer. I'm scared. And they've gone and joined Toastmasters. They've tried giving speeches. They reduced their stammer, one stammer at a time. And today they are giving some fantastic speeches. So keep practicing. And that's also the way in which you improve your self-confidence. You improve your, it's like a cricketer. The more they bat, the more they practice in the nets, the better they are in the actual match. Or at least that is supposed to be how it is. Some cricketers are very good in the nets, but very poor in the pitch. So I don't think cricket is a good example anymore. But, if you take some of the batsmen in the world, like, for example, Virat Kohli. If you ask him how he has achieved what he has achieved, it's about what? Practice, practice, practice. Okay. Participate in public speaking, practice at every turn you get. And without you realizing, you'll come a day, you'll realize that the day has dawned where now you are a very good speaker. Remember, you give your first speech, it might be bad. Your second speech might be worse. Your third speech might be terrible. Your fourth speech might be horrifying. Your fifth speech might be a catastrophe. Your sixth speech might be an Armageddon. But your seventh speech, maybe your 20th speech, 50th speech, 130th speech might be a masterpiece. Because life does not happen to us step by step. Life happens in a breakthrough where you keep trying, you fall, you keep trying, you fall, you keep trying, you fall, you keep trying. And at one point, you break through all those barriers. You break through that entire cloud of doubt and you emerge the champion speaker you were always meant to emerge. So keep trying, keep at it until you get your breakthrough and until you speak your masterpiece. I believe that's all the time that we have for today. It was an absolute pleasure and an honor speaking to you. And like I said at the beginning, young boys, you are the men of tomorrow. Men are being accused of a lot of things nowadays. And men have a duty towards holding other men in the world accountable towards being a good example to the rest of the world. And if you are to do that, you need to display character. And your display of character starts with good communication. And I hope I was able to inspire you to be better communicators, to build your character, to bring out that class in you. Because trust me when I say this, there has never been a moment in the history of this world that the world needed better men. And I really hope that the young boys who are with me in this forum today will go on to be those who change the world, the young men who change the world tomorrow. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tharindu, for making us realize that the man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others, and of course, for enlightening us on the art of impromptu speaking and how to nail an impromptu speech effortlessly. Thank you very much. So next up, we have with us today a familiar face to anybody who joined in yesterday. He is a passionate Toastmaster who is ready to tell you more about how Toastmasters can help you develop your public speaking and leadership skills. Without taking too much of your time, let me now move on to introduce to you our next speaker for today, distinguished Toastmaster Motivational Insights, who is ready to share how Toastmasters can help you, our young leaders tomorrow, to develop your communication and leadership skills. Distinguished Toastmaster Modita is a lecturer and trainer by profession attached to the I Speak Academy Sri Lanka, specializing in developing communication and public speaking skills. He is also an advisor for GIHE Campus public speaking training programs. His corporate experience spans over 12 years, covering various capacities including software engineering, business analysis, corporate training solutions, and public speaking. He's a certified trainer from City and Guilds, UK. He's an experienced Toastmaster who joined the organization way back in 2014 and has achieved the Distinguished Toastmaster status, which is the highest educational qualification from Toastmasters International. Also, he is a former Toastmaster, area director, champion speaker, multiple award winner for education and leadership, and even mentoring. He is currently serving District 82 as the club extension and retention chair for divisions B and G. Distinguished Toastmaster Modita, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Hachini. Very good morning to all of you young leaders. I'm so glad to be again here to give you knowledge and instruction about Toastmasters. I know many of you have been there yesterday and engaged with me very actively with regard to what is Toastmasters, how we can improve through Toastmasters. And again, I'm going to tell you further how we can improve from Toastmasters and what exactly Toastmasters, the history and how it evolved. So moving forward, I actually, when I was listening to Tharindu's speech, I realized that I too faced some disastrous situation in my life. Definitely, just all of us have faced these situations during our school days when we were schooling. I too had the same share of my agony. But more importantly, I had to face the same situation during my early stage of my career, the work life. I was a part of a software engineering company, actually a bank. I was a software engineer many years back. And during my early stage of my career, I got this opportunity to participate in a training program which gave us the knowledge of speaking and leading. Rather, I was pushed to participate. I was very reluctant to go in front of audiences. I had the stage fear. Some people would rather, they would love to die rather going in front of audiences. This is the known fact. And I had the same feeling. I went there and I just, peeped inside. I looked left and right. There was nobody, and immediately ran towards the back bench and was seated. And it was very easy to hide. Whenever there's an opportunity for speaking slot, I just put my head down. I can hide. It's very easy for me. But unfortunately, the trainer spotted me and directly called me by my name. I was speechless. Then I realized how it was difficult to deliver speech. I had a lot of symptoms, issues, everything happened to me. I was not able to deliver a speech. Even I couldn't speak a word for maybe 1 minute and 30 seconds continuously. It was a huge pause. I was embarrassed. And then I thought to myself, I need to get rid of this fear of public speaking. At least I need to know techniques, how I can implement to get rid of or minimize this fear of public speaking. That is how Toastmasters helped me. Toastmasters is all about helping you to control your fear of public speaking. So with that experience that I faced in my life, I'd like to share my presentation to you. And just give me a thumbs up if you can see this presentation slide. Hashini, is it okay?
Not as yet.
Can you see this?
Coming on, but we cannot see your slides as yet. Okay, now we can.
All right, so we are good to go. So introduction to Toastmasters, and now welcome to the awareness session on Toastmasters. Now this was the situation I was in. I was terrible. Sense of dread, choking, rapid heartbeat, sweaty palms. I even almost forgot my name. I didn't know how I came inside from hands or legs. I didn't know anything. It was terrible. This happens to almost every person on earth when they were invited to do a speech or they give an opportunity to come in front of an audience to do a speech. We call this a glossophobia. It's a non-phobia. There are many phobias in the world: arachnophobia, fear of insects, and necrophobia, fear of death. And if I share some statistics about this glossophobia, 74% of people suffer from speech anxiety. This is a common name, speech anxiety. According to studies, now people would love risking their life rather going in front of audiences delivering speeches. Now imagine the situation of many people in the world, including myself. So there's a solution for this. The solution, one of the greatest solutions, if you can implement, that solution is Toastmasters. So what is Toastmasters? This question comes to our mind. You may have heard this word. You may have seen certain maybe videos on YouTube, some websites about Toastmasters, but have you given thought about Toastmasters? What is this Toastmasters? Why it is called Toastmasters? What there is to do with this toasting? Is it something related to toasting? These questions came to my mind as well. So just like I'm doing to you, there was an educational session for me, for newbies, many years back to enlighten us on Toastmasters. So our young leaders, brilliant scouts, this is the definition. So it's a worldwide non-profit educational organization empowering people to become more effective speakers and leaders. Now see the word, empowering people to become more effective speakers and leaders. It's a huge network, over 364,000 memberships, but compared to scouts, it's multi-million across the world. But these people will change the world as speakers and leaders, spread across 445 countries and more than 16,200 clubs. But these numbers are changing daily because daily new members are being added to the world fraternity, the world membership for Toastmasters, new clubs are being formed. It's a very progressive organization. It is the largest provider of dynamic and high value experiential communication and leadership skills development in the world. Now you see there's an emphasis on two words: experiential communication and leadership skills development. So you are leaders as scouts, and I know you are really good at speaking as well. So if we can have these two factors in our life as speakers, as leaders, our growth is inevitable. So we can do wonders with these two elements. It's about inculcating these two in our system. So let's see why it is important. Communication and leadership, as I mentioned. So in Toastmasters, we give equal measures to these two. We made leaders who are really capable of communicating ideas. Because once the great James Hume said, the art of communication is the language of leadership. The art of communication is the language of leadership. If you are a good leader, you need to communicate to people. If you are lacking these communication skills, there might be disadvantages and certain situations come up where you are unable to communicate your vision, your ideas, your leadership skills to people. To become a leader, definitely communication plays a huge role. So leadership and communication, that is the prominence that Toastmasters has been given. A little history about Toastmasters. Now, to the left top corner, you will see the Toastmasters International logo. That is the official logo of Toastmasters International. The official tagline, the motto is, "Where leaders are made." Where leaders are made. Yes, we too believe in making leaders, and through communication, we create leaders. That is the tagline of Toastmasters International. Now, you see in the below, 4 core values of Toastmasters. Every organization, including the Scouts movement, if you take any bank or any organization in the world, they have this vision, mission, and values. So what are the values of Toastmasters? What we practice as values in Toastmasters? We practice integrity. We practice integrity during our daily tasks. Being a Toastmasters, how we engage with others, how we share our knowledge, how we gain knowledge, we show that integrity and respect to people, to the work that we have to do, all the assignments, the speeches, and to the people especially. We respect. And we serve the society as practicing the servant leadership style. We serve the community. Now what we are doing actually a service to the community, the Scouts. It is a great collaboration between Scouts and Toastmasters, which is actually a great example for the excellence. What we are experiencing now is all a combination of all these 4: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. What more I can say about this occasion? So these are the core values of Toastmasters. Now, this is our founding father, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. He is the founding father of Toastmasters International. And there's a small similarity between, there are many similarities between Toastmasters and Scouts in terms of leadership, but there's one striking similarity that I found when I was going through these details many years back, to be honest, because the birthday of Lord Baden-Powell and Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, 22nd of February, same. Now you see there's much similarity between Toastmasters and Scouts. Need to be very proud of it. So who is Dr. Ralph C. Smedley? Dr. Ralph C. Smedley was an educationalist, a visionary leader who saw the future trends of education, and he was the education director of YMCA, early 1900s at Santa Ana, California, Illinois, sorry. So what happened actually, during his stay as the educational director of the organization, he saw an issue among the youth of who are attached to these YMCA activities. During those days, they were really doing leadership roles, but when they were invited to do a speech or maybe to do to address a gathering, there were a lot of issues. Some people, they were really reluctant to go in front of the audience. They really, I mean, they didn't have much skills to do it. And even though some people went in front of the audiences to do public speeches, to address gatherings, they lacked the clarity and the organization of speeches. So being a visionary educationalist, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley thought, hey, this is the time for me to rectify this issue, because at that time, my focus was on the development of youth in America. They were transforming to become a world power from the industrial revolution towards the future. So he created this syllabus, maybe a course, a system of practicing speeches called Toastmasters. Actually, he implemented it in early 1905, to be honest. But then he formally established this Toastmasters movement on the 22nd of October, 1924. Now you see the young Dr. Ralph C. Smedley and the establishment of first official Toastmasters Club, YMCA, 1924, 22nd October. Now this is one of the historical photos that we can find in Toastmasters, the very first meeting. And after that, it improved and expanded beyond the capacities. It became international, went outside USA, and now it has spread across 145 countries, serving millions of people since 1924. It was the vision of Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, and now it's serving the world, being a giant in terms of speaking skills and leadership skills. This is a little bit of history of Toastmasters and the founding father of Toastmasters, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. Remember the name. Now, what is the promise of Toastmasters? We have Toastmasters Promise and Club Mission. The Toastmasters Promise is empowering individuals through personal and professional development. So if you take individual, you are a student and your parents are professionals, and for both categories, the personal and professional empowerments, the individual will be given a lot of opportunities to embrace that excellence. Now, club mission. What is a club? I will come to that later, but remember the name, the club. So we have a mission in a Toastmasters club. What is the mission? We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, if you see, if you focus your attention on these two words, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth, many people have experienced this greater self-confidence and personal growth, and it has changed some of their lives. I will give you a story because I'm really good. I'm so passionate to share some stories, just like Tanadu mentioned. When you share stories, you can connect to it. You too have stories. I will share one story, one such story, how this changed a life of a person. Now, I told you just to remember the word club. Now, in Toastmasters, there's a structure, just like in Scouts, we have an organization structure. In very simple terms, I will tell you. So at the bottom, you will see you, which is the member, Toastmaster. When you get the membership of Toastmasters International, what happens? You become a member of this worldwide organization. So when you after becoming this member of this worldwide organization, everything will come to you. Attention, the focus, the education values will be upon you. So collection of members create the club. That is the fundamental unit of Toastmasters, just like classroom, something like that. So club, there are clubs in Sri Lanka, everywhere in the world. There are millions, I mean, hundreds of thousands of clubs, not millions. And they are doing really good. So set of clubs create an area. Set of areas creates division. Number of divisions create a district. This is administrative structure. Now, for example, district Sri Lanka is a separate district. We call this district 82. So we have nearly 121 districts, as I know, as of now, maybe 122. Numbers are increasing. So we are one of these districts in the world in Toastmasters map. So collection of districts create the world headquarters, which comprises of the regions and the regional directors. So this is the simple structure. You see the hierarchy of Toastmasters. First, you need to become a member, and then you will belong to a club, area, division, district, and world headquarters. But the focus is in Toastmasters is on the member, you, because we need to practice in order to improve our communication leadership skills to achieve excellence. That is our self-confidence, growing our self-confidence. Who uses Toastmasters? These are some of the Fortune 500 companies who has Toastmasters Club. More than half of Fortune 500 companies. So what are these Fortune 500 companies? They are one of the giants, one of the big giants of the world business arena. You see Apple, Disney, Caterpillar, Google, Toyota, Coca-Cola, Boeing, 3M. These are giants, and they do have Toastmasters Club. Why? They know the value of Toastmasters. They have given this opportunity to their corporates. Just like that, everywhere in communities as well, we have Toastmasters. In a nutshell, if I tell you the structure of Toastmasters, we have mainly corporate and community clubs. Clubs, which is a collection of people, irrespective of any organization, it belongs to open to entire world. And some clubs are there inside corporates, only open to the employees of that particular organization. For example, if I take Apple, the Apple Toastmasters Club, there will be many Toastmasters inside Apple. Just for example, Apple Toastmasters only open to the employees and associates of Apple. Just like that in Sri Lanka, many banks and other organizations are there. They have this Toastmasters Club, and it is only open to the employees. And there are open clubs in Sri Lanka where anyone can join to become a Toastmaster. The only condition to become Toastmasters is you need to be more than 18 years old. So that is the only condition. Below that, you have these gavel club concepts like a junior Toastmasters. What do we get being a Toastmaster? Individual growth, organizational growth, or maybe your team. As of now, you can take your team growth and the growth of your individual capacities. You will go in between and definitely carrying the flag of success. You will be a flag bearer of success, and you can achieve a lot of potential through this program. How will you benefit? I mentioned you will get benefits. How you will get benefits? You will improve your public speaking skills. You will build leadership skills, practice writing speeches. It's a different art, and presenting in a group setting, just like one of our scouts did one of the impromptu speeches, which is really good. Gaining competitive advantages in the team. If you are a leader, if you are a team member, you will get a lot of advantage being a Toastmaster. You can put these skills into practice, work on networking and in a small and supportive environment, build self-confidence, unlimited personal growth, maximize your potential. What happens ultimately? You will maximize your potential. Also, you will learn these skills. Now, in order to improve ourselves, we need to acquire some skills. Now, these are some of the skills, not all actually, a few main skills that we will practice in Toastmasters. Conduct effective meetings. If you were there yesterday, you got a vast amount of knowledge about how you can have effective meetings. Meetings, not just meetings, right? You have a lot to do in a meeting. So it's very important. So, learn the content yesterday and practice time management. Again, one thing that we learned, enhance listening skills, sharpening your presentation skills, and boosting your team collaboration, how you can work with people in a team, how you can work with other team members, guiding successful teams, implementing feedback, how you can take feedback, very constructive feedback, very positive feedback. The beauty of Toastmasters is actually one thing, is the way you give feedback. Now, for example, if I have done something bad in the sense, something not effective in terms of delivering a speech or maybe leadership role, definitely my friends in Toastmasters will give me that evaluation, but in a very positive way. Modita, you did really well in these areas, but if you can focus on these things to improve further, you can be a complete package. So you see the beauty of Toastmasters. It's not just everyday comments that we get about our improvements. You won't get these improvement points or maybe evaluations very positively other than Toastmasters, maybe only on very few occasions. But in Toastmasters, it's a core practice. So now you realize the enrichment of being a Toastmaster and develop decision-making skills. When you improve your evaluation skills, you tend to do good decision-making approaches as well. So this is what you get. So now you know about Toastmasters, the structure, the club, and the benefits, the skills that you will develop, and what to expect from a Toastmasters club. What is the process that is happening inside Toastmasters? You can think of it as a literature association meeting in your school. Simply like that. You can take that parallel. For example, in Toastmasters, we meet and we do greet people and we have a lot of fun time. And we have speaking segments. We have something called prepared speeches, which actually, when you become Toastmasters, you will get a guideline like a syllabus, and you do speeches based on that syllabus in simple terms. So you get time in advance to prepare, and you can, in a given day, particular day, you can deliver that speech. So you get this opportunity to do so many prepared speeches. And again, like impromptu speeches, just like Tarindu trained you today, you get opportunity to come in front of the audience and think on your feet and deliver speeches on impromptu basis. And some of the speeches, maybe knowledge sharing segments, there are various segments. We speak, we practice as leaders, and we do role plays. Through this experience, we learn and we enrich ourselves. So honest and encouraging peer evaluations, as I mentioned, very good opportunities for your volunteer leadership skills, and you get opportunity to listen to some of these mentors, or get the opportunity of associating with mentors who will train you, guide you to unleash your true potential, the best of you. Now, I mentioned about the syllabus. What is this syllabus? The educational program in Toastmasters, international one. It is called pathways. I'm not going to elaborate it further. It'll be a bit complicated, but in a very simple terms, it's like a syllabus. It is called pathways. It has so many things to learn, right? It has complete 11 specialized paths. One path you will take maybe 1 year to complete, maybe more than that. One path has many projects from many levels. In each level, there are many projects catering to different areas, and we need to complete those projects. It is a combination of speaking and leading, and also associating with others. So you have 11 specialized paths, more than 60 projects, and believe me, 300 plus unique competencies. Being a Toastmaster, going through this educational process, what you will get when you become Toastmaster, you have more than 300 unique competencies to develop within you. Just imagine the amount of enrichment you will get being a Toastmaster. Now, what is the structure of a club? I'm sure you have this structure, the leadership people, the leadership titles in Scouts. Yes, you have. Just like that, in the Toastmasters club environment, we have an executive committee, a leadership team who will guide the members and also the club to achieve certain goals and assignments. The number one person is the president. Just like other organizations, we do have a president. Second one, vice president education. That person will be looking after the educational projects and engagements of the members. Third one, vice president membership, who will be taking care of the matters of the members, invite new people to become members, and he's like the membership manager. The fourth officer is vice president public relations, who will be promoting club to the outside, who's like the PR manager for an organization. He's the face to outside. He will manage and help his team to promote your club to outside, to share your knowledge to outside, and also like the brand ambassador of your club. Each member is a brand ambassador, but VP membership has much more higher responsibilities in that capacity. Secretary definitely custodian of all these legal documents and meeting minutes. You know the responsibility of being a secretary, just like the same. Treasurer, in my opinion, can be the most valued and most treasured man or the woman. Treasurer, the money person. He'll be taking care of treasurer functions, handling all the funds and accounts. Sergeant at arms. At the beginning, I thought, who is this sergeant at arms? When I became a Toastmaster, I thought he can be a person who will be bearing arms, because sergeant at arms. That was wrong actually. He's the custodian, or maybe the person who is in charge of the logistics. In simple terms, you can take this example as a logistic manager. He will prepare the place, the physical meeting arrangement in advance, and he will place all this equipment in order, and he will make the environment to have a perfect, good Toastmasters meeting. Now see, everybody has a unique responsibility and they have to deliver it. That is the responsibility of being an executive officer of Toastmasters. This is the structure of an executive committee. Now, Toastmasters district, I mentioned Sri Lanka is a separate district, Toastmasters International. What do we have in our district? Sri Lanka, one of the unique districts. We have more than 3,500 members, more than 160 clubs, and it has gone across more than 60 cities. Now you see, can you imagine the capacity of Toastmasters in Sri Lanka? Again, compared to Scouts, it is less, but it is something unique, because District 82 in Sri Lanka regarded as one of the best districts, one of the most emerging districts in Toastmasters map. We have been achieving number 1, number 2, the 3rd slots in district recognitions, rankings, one of the fastest growing districts in the world, including India as well. So we need to be very proud of our district as Toastmasters, even as Scouts, because we belong to a unique category. There are more to be proud of, right? Now I ask, can you recognize this person? Again, I would like to ask this question. Who is this?
Dhananjay Hettiarachi.
Yeah, right. Yes, yes. Thank you for these valued comments. Yes, he's none other than the Toastmaster Dhananjay Hettiarachi, a legacy of Toastmasters in District 82 in Sri Lanka. Why he is so significant? He became the world champion of public speaking in 2014, being the very first Asian to win this title. For so many years, I think since 1930s or 20s, if I can't remember that actually, but for so many years, Dhananjay, the Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking has been won by Europeans and Americans. Dhananjay became the very first Asian to win it. And being a Sri Lankan, we are very proud of it. And who is this actually? I'm not going to tell the name because you heard it again today during Tharindu's speech. And if you were there yesterday, you can remember the name. Any answer? Any answer? All right, I'll move with the presentation. He's none other than DTM Balraj Arunasalam. Why he's very important? He became the president of Toastmasters International in 2017-18 educational year. He's one of the key pillars in forming this District 82. These two gentlemen took the Sri Lankan Toastmasters in a higher place in Toastmasters map. Fabulous, isn't it? Just like Tharindu became a champion in District 82 in Impromptu. And the next speaker who is coming very shortly, another giant in District 82 in terms of leadership. So you had the privilege of listening to him. So that is beauty of Toastmasters. You learn from some people who have the higher caliber, who are coming from great experiences. They will very freely share everything with you. So we learn best in moments of enjoyment. That is, it was said by Dr. Rajshree Smedley. And let me stop sharing this. I would like to share just last statement with regard to my presentation. Yes, we do learn best in enjoyment, best in the moments of enjoyment, and we enjoy our experience, enjoy our learning. I mentioned that there has been people who has changed their life due to Toastmasters, and we are looking at one such example. I changed my life to become better because of the experience I got through Toastmasters. How? I recognized some of my hidden talents. It helped me to unleash my true potential. It helped me to, go into some unknown territories and do certain things. Gave me the confidence to tackle any situation, to go to some uncharted areas and to get that experience without any fear. Even though I have fear, I know how to control it. Now you may think that I'm really good at it, speaking, and I can do presentations really well, but only my God knows what is happening inside my stomach right now. But I know how to control it. That is simple terms of Toastmasters. You know how to control you as a speaker and a leader being a Toastmaster. So my dear friends, my request is you can just check the website www.toastmasters.org. Go to that. You have enough of information to learn from that website, and you can check your YouTube and listen to speakers like Tharindu and upcoming speaker DTM Salim. You will enrich yourself with this valuable information. So you are leaders. You are great leaders in this country as scouts. You have a promising future. So Toastmasters are waiting for you, and they are waiting for you. And when time comes, we would like to embrace you and hug you as Toastmasters to get you into our fraternity. So this will be a great collaboration between Scouts and Toastmasters. Just imagine how beautiful. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Hashimi.
From sweaty palms to cracking voices, speaking publicly can be terrifying. Yet, it is a crucial skill to have in our day-to-day life. Like distinguished Toastmaster Monica mentioned, Toastmasters will give you these skills and the confidence that you need to effectively express yourself in any situation. Whether you're a tenured manager, student, a young professional, or maybe somebody looking to advance your career, or somebody hoping to make an impact on community. Toastmasters is the most efficient, supportive, enjoyable, and even affordable way of gaining great communication and leadership skills. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Modita. I'm confident that the information that you shared were truly valuable to our audience today. Like Toastmaster Tharinder said, men make history and not the other way around. In periods where there is no leadership, a society stands still. Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better. To tell us more about being a great leader, we have with us today distinguished Toastmaster Samin M. Salim. He is a chartered electronics and telecommunications engineer. He is an alumnus of the University of Moratuwa. He has served Sri Lanka's leading telecommunications operator in Sri Lanka Telecom for over 37 years in many capacities and currently serving as a general manager talent development. He has spoken at various conferences and workshops, locally and overseas both. He is a passionate trainer in communication and leadership. Further, he has pursued his communication and leadership career after joining Toastmasters International in 2004. Toastmasters International serves members all across the globe in developing life skills of their members through a highly effective educational program called the Pathways Learning Experience. As a Toastmaster, he has served as the Toastmaster District 82 as a district governor, covering clubs in India and Sri Lanka. So he is here today to share with us his insights on how you can establish yourself as a great leader. The distinguished Toastmaster Samin M. Salim, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for that lovely introduction. And today I will be speaking to you on becoming an inspirational leader. Inspirational leadership will be my topic. And in the next 40 to 45 minutes, I will try to speak with you on inspirational leadership without mentioning one word, that is Toastmasters. Then that is the most difficult thing for me, because Toastmasters is where the leaders are made. And if you talk about Toastmasters, if you talk about leadership without Toastmasters, it is very difficult. But let me try. What do you mean by leadership? Now, say, for example, now these days we all know the whole country, the whole world is covered by this pandemic, COVID-19. And as a result, in our country, we have certain norms when we move out and when we deal with public. What do? We maintain, we maintain the distance. We wear a mask all the time, and we always try to keep our hands clean and not touch various places. Now, these things are some things that we would have to do, not only for ourselves, but for others as well. If you follow these, no matter whether the other people do it or not, if you follow this, then you actually have great leadership qualities. Leadership is that. Leadership is leading at every situation. Now, you as scouts, you already know that, because it is not only going on a camp and putting up the camp and setting up the campfire, singing around it. Yeah, those are all great things, because those are the things that give us the essential leadership skills. When your scout troop is putting up the tent, everybody gets in, and each one of you have a certain task. Somebody will bring the poles, and somebody will bring the net, the tarpaulin, and various things. So we all, in our activities in scouting or whatever the day-to-day things, we all practice leadership skills. But when you are a scout, or when you are a member of a certain organization, maybe it is your job, or maybe in your school, or wherever it is, even in the society, we all have a certain role to play, and that role is leadership. And I will talk to you in the next few minutes about how to become an inspiration leader. And I strongly recommend all of you to interact with me if it is necessary. I will get you to interact with me. Let me first share my screen. No, it's okay. I will not share my screen with you because I am using a new computer and Apple, and it's very difficult. But it's okay. I will go without sharing the screens now. This is one lesson that we have to learn as leaders is to react to any situation. Now, see, I was expecting to share my screen with you all, but unfortunately, I could not share because of the limitation in my computer. In fact, that is something from one side, it is a fault of mine that I haven't checked it with you all. But leaving that, I am ready to speak to you even without sharing my screen. Let me ask you a question, a challenge. Actually, I would like to challenge you. I challenge you to list 3 sports in which the winning player goes backwards. Can you find the answer and type it on the chat or speak out loud? 3
I'm
sports.
sorry, sir. I didn't get the question properly.
Okay, I will repeat. 3 sports in which the winning person goes backwards. 3 sports. Only 3. Can you think of 3 sports in which the winning player goes backwards? Mhm. Rugby, I do not agree. Rugby, yes, you run all over, it's not only backwards. But swimming, yes, swimming is one of the answers. The backstroke, the swimming, the backstroke is where the winning player goes backwards.
Sir,
2 more.
sir,
Sir,
Yes.
I think in position, sir.
Beg your pardon?
sir, tug
Golf,
of war.
no, golf is wrong. Tug of war, yes. The second question, the second answer is tug of war. Yes, tug of war. Yes. Karate, no, you move around in the ring. Yes, no. Gymnastics, again, it's not only tug of war, right? Swimming is right. One more sports, again related to water. Let me. It's rowing. Rowing. The rowers, they row backwards. So these are the 3 sports where, oh yeah, somebody came up with the answer at the last moment. Yeah, rowing. Rowing is the 3rd sport. Yes, there are, of course, that these 3 are what I can think of most. Now, what are the essential roles of a leader? Now, you as scouts, you have troop leaders, the scout masters, all these people in the scout hierarchy. Now, do you need to have a leadership position or a title to become a leader? Answer me. Do you really need a position or a title to become a leader? Troop leader or
No, sir.
okay, yes, if you say no, then how can you be a leader? Amaz, now
By listening and by listening.
by listening you can be a leader. Yes, that is one of the greatest qualities that a leader should have. A leader should be a good leader, a good listener. Now, Listening is a skill that we have to understand. Sometimes when we are in our classrooms, we tend not to listen to our teachers, mainly because previously when Tarindu spoke, he asked how would you like to sit in a 3 hour long lecture, and yeah, it's not 3 hours, even 45 minutes. Sometimes in the classroom it is very difficult for us to keep our listening ear on, but that is one of the great strongest quality of a leader. Now when you are practicing leadership in a team, everybody, now that is where the movements like scouting and Toastmasters, they all practice this. Now we all
Problem
find a,
solving.
yes, problem solving, solving other people's problem, listening to them, and becoming an inspiration to all other people. Now if I define what the roles of a leader is, yeah, a leader would, now when we are in a group in scouting or whatever, will define the tasks, achieve the task, and maintain effective relations. Basically three. We, if there is a task, yes, we the leader should be able to define the task, achieve the task along with the members of the team, and maintain effective relationship. So that those are the main essential elements that a leader would have. Now, sometimes we confuse between becoming a leader and a boss. Now, bossing around is, commanding people, you do this, you do that, you know that is wrong, and this is right. That is command. But a leader is someone who would show their team members the way how to achieve a certain task. That is why the the Scout movement is so successful, because in Scout movement, all leaders, they know how they show the path. They uh, they 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 know they have gone on that path, and they show you the path so that you will follow. That is exactly is a leader, what a leader would be doing. um, now now do you think you are a leader? I'm asking the scouts who do not hold a title in your scout troop. Do you think you are a leader? Yes. Umar Scout, he says yes. Yes, we all are leaders. There are
Yes, sir.
situations. Yes, yes, yeah, I agree. Thank you very much for that answer. Because there are situations where we have to be lead. Now, some of you may know, and some of you may not have heard. 16 years ago, on 26th of December, we had this biggest disaster that affected many parts of the world by this giant wave of tsunami. Our country, Sri Lanka, was very badly affected. The coastal lines were very badly affected. So when the wave hit and brought that devastation to the country, what did most of us do? We all rose up. We collected food. We collected clothing. We tried to we collected medicine. We tried to help the people who were in distress. So for that, for you to rise up to an occasion, you don't need a title. You don't need to be called the president or the chairman or something. You yourself, you rise up and do the needful. And if you look around, there are so many people who have risen up. Even in this period of the pandemic, there are people who rise up and they go all out to help. That is leadership. You do really do not need a title to become a leader. So if you discuss what leaders do and what leadership is, now if now there is a very close connection between leadership and being a leader. A leader is not necessarily a person who has all the qualities of leadership. You That is why sometimes you find uh, so-called leaders among us who you really don't like, because they are a little bit extreme, and they command you, they criticize you, they don't listen to you, they only try to push their own thoughts, which are not good leadership qualities. But if you have good leadership qualities, then you can become a great leader, a leader that everybody would look on to. If we look at what a leader is supposed to do, a leader definitely, when there's a task, they will schedule the work and they will delegate the task. Just imagine when you go on a camp scouting now, your troop leader, or I actually don't know all the titles of a scout, but your troop leader, or who is in charge of your troop, will delegate tasks, and somebody will now you all know, somebody will be in charge of the kitchen, and somebody will be in charge of cleanliness of the tent, and somebody will be in charge of scheduling the other things, and somebody will be in charge of a good leader would instruct that person, right? This is how it went wrong, because it went wrong because your planning was not right, and you were not prepared. You have not read whatever the instructions that we have given you before. So next time when you are doing a task, please read it, prepare yourself, and come ready to perform the job that you are asked to do. So you are telling them in a way that they would be motivated to join with you in a future event, and also they love that learning, because it makes them a learning experience rather than receiving the criticism. Nobody likes criticism. I, you, all of us, we do not like criticism. That's why sometimes we do not like school. Generally in school, the common fact is the teachers scold. Why they scold? That's a very deep science why into that, why they scold. I'm not going to discuss that now, but uh, that is why we sometimes we don't like schools. But there are some teachers, they no matter what, they are very kind, and they would take time to sit with you and teach. Now I remember when I was in grade 6, I was so poor in mathematics. I was horrible. I was getting zeros, and sometimes I would just randomly put a number and get 3.3 marks or whatever. And I was so frustrated that I did not know mathematics. But there was this one great teacher in my class who realized that I didn't understand the basic concepts of mathematics, and she took me by her side while she was giving the class, the people in the class, the other work to do sums. She would take by her side and teach me the basic principles of multiplication and division. Those were the two things that I hated most: multiplication and division. Addition, subtraction, I was okay, but multiplication, division, I hated them. In rather, I told you grade 6, it is wrong. Grade 4, in grade 4, because of her, that great foundation, she gave me those basic foundations of mathematics. I loved the subject of mathematics, and I finally became an engineer. Without mathematics, you can't become an engineer. So I owe my gratitude to that teacher who taught me in grade 4 in Veligam Sri Sumangala Mahavidyalaya, who laid that foundation. So there are teachers like that. So you become a person like that who would understand your team member and give feedback for them to improve and not to criticize. And when your leadership should be as a leader, you should be able to interface between teams. Now I told I took the example of a camporee or a jamboree where the other troops also come. If it is Colombo district, the Colombo district are the troops from various schools. We know between schools we have various thoughts of, to anybody, my school is the best school and the other schools are not that great. But when we are in a campus, it's not like that. The leader should be able to plan and prioritize the tasks to be done. Now, when you go to set up your tent, you don't set up your kitchen first, do you? What do? You clean up the garden, you clean up the compound, and you measure the distances, and you locate where the pegs should be drawn, and all these things you do. So the planning and each step has to be done accordingly. So that is the leadership you have. Now we don't wait until the leader, the the namesake leader does it. We do it because we are, or we have those leadership qualities within us and among us. I would like to, if you have time, if you are able to, I would like you to take the note these 10 characteristics of a good leader. Please note it down. I wished I could have shown you the slide, but please try to write it down. The first and foremost characteristic of a leader is integrity. Integrity. I will put it on the chat. The first is integrity. What is integrity? If you look at the dictionary definition, integrity means the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. That is the dictionary definition. I will read it again. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Yeah, that may be the dictionary definition, but I will give you an easy to remember definition for integrity. Integrity is one of the greatest values that we Toastmasters have at the foremost, and I know you scouts have it at the foremost, and that is something that we all have at the foremost. Integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing, doing the right thing even when no one is watching, doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Just because no one is watching you don't do something wrong. No, doing the right thing even when no one is watching, that is integrity. So you have it right on top of your mind, on your thoughts, because you as an inspiration leader, this is the strongest value you have in your life. Integrity, doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Please remember that. And number two, the second leadership quality of a good leader is ability to delegate. Now, as a leader, you don't have to do everything by yourself, because that is not what is supposed to happen. Leader need not do everything by yourself, right? If you are the leader of the school, now take the principal for example of a school. Now, does the principal go and teach all the classes? No, it has been delegated to various teachers particular to subjects and classes, so on and so forth, something like that. Now, you as a leader need not do all by yourself, you do it so it is ability to delegate. And the third is communication. Communication is the very essential component of every leader, because now we I will take scouting for example. Now we I know most of you have been a scout for a while, maybe from grade 6, 7 or whatever the classes, and you have grown up, you have been in scouting for a long time. Just because you have been a scout for a long time, if you are a leader of the troop, you don't expect others to know what they are doing. You have to communicate, you have to inform them, right? This is what I expect you to do. I want you to take the roll call. I want you to do the flag hoisting, and you will be the person, I don't know how you call them, the person who blows the whistle and all that. So you have to communicate with others what you expect them to do. Without communicating, the others will not know, because we have not developed to that extent that we can read the thoughts of the other people. Just because you have it in your mind, you don't expect others to know. They have to um, be communicated and told that you have to. I think I posted the second quality, ability to delegate. Integrity.
Yes, sir, you posted it.
You posted it, right? Okay. Thanks. Right. Okay. And communication is a very important aspect. And self-awareness. Now, knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know. So that is a very important thing. Just because you are a leader, don't think, right, I am the leader, I am the leader of this troop, then I should know everything. No need. Now I have been in Toastmasters for more than 15 years. Sometimes all of a sudden some Toastmaster would call me and ask a question. If I don't know the answer, I don't try to invent an answer. I don't try to tell them, all right, this just because he is asking me because I am a leader, I don't want to invent an answer. I want to give the right answer. So therefore, the person, if someone asks me a question uh, for which I don't know the answer, I take time and I say, can you give me about half an hour or 1 hour? I will check it up and I will let you know. So self-awareness is a very essential component of a good leader, knowing what you know and knowing what you do not know. And even sometimes knowing things you know, if you want to give an answer, please double check it, cross reference it, and understand, right, I am giving the right answer. Because sometimes the words you use can be construed erroneously, may not be the right meaning that you. So it's always good, before you speak, you think twice and you give an answer. So referring to someone, and so self-awareness is there. And the fifth quality is the gratitude. We have to be grateful to everything. Now, I am a scout because I am a student of the school. So I am grateful to the school. I am grateful to my teachers. I am grateful to my parents. I am grateful to my leaders in my workplace. I am grateful to my professors and teachers in the university. And I am grateful to my friends. Because of my friends, I have learned so much, my experience. So the attitude of gratitude is very important. Remember all the time. Now, just because someone doesn't wear clothing the way that you would like them to, just because of that you don't leave them around aside. Talk to them and try to learn something and be grateful. Attitude of gratitude is very important. And learning ability, the sixth quality is the learning ability. You should be ready to learn all the time, because in this world the learning is like a great ocean. It never ends. You can learn every day, every moment, and every time you can learn. So you must have the mindset of learning. If it is scouting, you learn about scouting. When you go to school, you learn the subjects. When you go to school, if you have free time, learn about your school's history. Learn about the forefathers of your school, the principal before the current principal. What did he do? Where did he come from? All this. So the learning always enhances your ability to think, and it makes you a good leader. And ability to influence, empathy, courage, and respect. The four qualities I will go at once, because the time is almost over. Ability to influence, empathizing, courage, and respect. Now, just because I mentioned respect at the end, it is not the least quality that a leader should have. Respect. Now, all these 10 qualities should be in par, because they should have the same level. They all should be at the foremost level rather than in an order. Respect is a very important quality a leader should have. Respecting your team members, respecting your peers, the other leaders in your same category, respecting your teachers, your elders, and people who guided you. Respect is always necessary. Now, in scouting and even in Toastmasters, we come to meetings. Now, I know you all came to this meeting at sharp 10 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because we respect the other people, because we know everybody was asked to come at 10 and we should be there by 10, because that is If we all are present only, we can start this event. And that is how we can be respectful. So before I end, I will give you another quiz. Let me try to put this in the chat, and I want you to find an answer to this. This is a small paragraph. Please take time to read it and spot the errors. And if you can speak them out, or you can tell me what are the errors that you find. Can you all see that paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Have you found all errors?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can somebody tell me what the errors are?
Sir, I found all the errors.
Oh, what are they?
Sir, at the first line, you may not believe, it's not believe, it's believe that there are 6 errors.
Okay.
In
That
the
is one.
errors, it's ERRORS.
Okay, so that is the second error, right? Okay.
The third error is
Okay.
study is STUDY.
Okay. So it is the third.
Carefully, then the next mistake is there in carefully. There is not only one L, there should be 2 L's.
Okay, that is
Then
the fourth.
Then in read,
it's READ, not REED.
Okay, 5.
Don't give up. Don't be silly. See if you can find.
Okay, anybody else? The 5 errors have been found.
So necessary is the wrong spelling.
No, necessary is right.
Sir, I found the other error.
What is that?
Sir, there are only 5 errors. That
Okay.
there are not 6 errors.
Okay, that is right. Yes. Yeah, you found it. Congratulations. Well done. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, there are only
there is
5.
another error.
There are only 5 errors, but mentioning
There is another error, sir. When you spell error, it's not
Yeah, it was mentioned. So along with all the spelling errors and all these things, there are 5. But saying it 6 errors, it is the 6th error. So that's great. You know that why I asked you this question is to check, do we observe everything carefully? Now, as a leader, that is something that we must have. One of the greatest quality is when you are a leader, not to speak, but to listen, but to watch, and and to observe. Not to speak. Please do not at once speak. Watch, observe, think, listen, and then finally, the last resort should be the speech. That is the greatest quality that a leader would have. Remember, when you are a leader, you are always being watched. Everybody looks up to you. They want they would be looking up to you, and they would look up to you as a leader. So if you are an inspiration leader, they would always try to follow you, and that is how you become an inspiration leader, right? So I think that brings an end to the time that I am given. So before I wind up, let me put my email address on the chat. So if you have any other question, you can ask me anything, because within this short period of time, I was not able to cover everything about leadership. But if you have any particular question, please feel free to ask, and please note down my email address. And I thank you very much for all the scouts of the Colombo district. I am very happy to be a part of it, because I have a very close association with the Colombo district scouts. Two of my sons were scouts, are scouts. Of course, one is a very active scout even now, even after passing the school. So I am very glad to be a part of this excellent camporee of district, Colombo district. Back to you, Toastmaster Hashini.
As John Maxwell once said, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Thank you, sir, for enlightening our audience on the art of motivating a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. Like distinguished Toastmaster Salim mentioned, we do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power that we need inside ourselves. I hope that this session will help you to unleash the same. So having come to the end of these sessions, let me now take this opportunity to thank the Colombo Scouts Youth Advisory for this opportunity given to District 82 to deliver a series of educational sessions on developing communication and leadership skills. We are proud to be the knowledge partner of the 55th Colombo Camporee 2020 in collaboration with the Colombo Scouts. Last but not least, a big thank you to our exceptionally enthusiastic audience for making this session, Lead Through Communication 101, this entire series, a phenomenal one through your active engagement. Thank you very much. It's now time for me to hand over control back to our host. So let me leave you with some exciting or motivational insights. If you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you are determined to learn, no one will stop you. The way to get started is to quit talking and to begin doing. So it's now time for you to pull your socks up and embark on your journey to become great speakers and leaders. Over to you, Nitin.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hashini, and all the Toastmasters for conducting such an insightful set of sessions. I strongly believe that the content covered throughout the session would be benefiting all the scouts who are in the Zoom meeting and who are watching the session live on YouTube, so they can meet their requirements for achieving the proficiency badges based on public speaking. Now, I would like to invite the Assistant District Commissioner, Mr. Darshana Ranatunga, to deliver the vote of thanks. Sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's indeed a pleasure to deliver this vote of thanks on behalf of the district. Lord Baden-Powell said the Scoutmaster teaches boys to play the game by doing so himself. So having been a Toastmaster myself, I would like to invite all these scouts who are here today to join the Gavel Club. The effort that the Youth Advisory Group is making to make this dream a reality. So first of all, although I would have loved to get one of the participants to say thank you, the obligations and the protocols compel me to say thank you to all who made this possible. So a big thank you to DTM Nisal Virukon, the Club Group Director, District 82 for agreeing to collaborate with the Scouts and for conducting this session. DM Modi Senanayaka for the excellent introduction into Toastmasters on both days and coordinating everything with our ever enthusiastic Nilukshan, including scheduling, agenda, resourcing of personnel. So that's a lot of work that he had done in the back office. And of course, lovely Toastmaster Hashini, thank you for moderating these sessions and being an inspiration for everybody. TM Sandun Fernando, for conducting the session on organizing your speech. TM Zaidh, Naushard was a scout, and even Sandun, I think, was a scout. I was listening to you all yesterday on the live stream on YouTube, who conducted the sessions on the meeting management. I think meeting management is very important for us. So thanks a lot for the input. And of course, Tarindu for the session on impromptu speaking. The scouts end up doing this all the time when we are called upon to present at various occasions. And last but not least, to my good friend, TM Salim, thank you for the session on the leadership skills. My sincere apologies for the technical problems that we faced. But the beauty of this whole program is this is done by young people for young people. So it's learning by doing from the start of the campaign. And I would also want to remember DTM Balraj, who has made Toastmasters a household name in the country and for the yeoman service for the movement. Then, of course, our team, Chamudita, head of YAG, Nilukshan Krishnaram, Siddharth Gajanayaka, Siddharthaya, who established contact for District 82 to arrange these meetings, the District Commissioner, and the Organizing Commissioner Supun, and the technical team led by Sena, for all the hard work that you have been putting in to make this session, not only for the scouts, but also to the public, very valuable. And last but not least, all you scouts who joined this live session today, a big thank you. And I will be looking forward to seeing you when you come for your provisions and badges. May the blessings and the spirit of the season be with you and bless you all with health and happiness so that we can all get back to our outdoor life. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the campaign.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Darshana, sir, and everyone for attending both of these sessions and making this event a success.
Thank
We
you,
are
sir.
keen to collaborate again with the Toastmasters and give our scouts some very valuable advice and things to learn. With that said, scouts can now take part in other activities as well, and we all hope you guys have a wonderful campaign.
Bye, Nishin Veerapon.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
රටක වැඩ ඉදිරියට යන්නේ ඔබ නොසිතූ මේ ලොතරැයි විරුවාගේ දායකත්වයෙන් නොවේද. රටක් වැඩහල්ලන දවසේ මුල්ම ගනුදෙනුව NLB ජීවිතයේ සිහිනයට වාසනාවේ ආශිර්වාදය.
මේ දෑතින් රැකබලාගත්ත අපේ අස්වන්න කෙලින්ම CBL සමපෝෂ කොම්පැනිය මිලදී ගන්න නිසා අපේ ජීවිත රැකෙනව මහත්තයෝ.
දශක ගානක් අපේ රටේ කෘෂිකර්මාන්තයට වගේම රැකියා දහස් ගානක් බිහි කරලා රටේ ආර්ථිකයටත් සමපෝෂ ආයතනය ලොකු මෙහෙවරක් කරලා තියෙනවා.
එහෙනම් අපේ දරුවත් කන අපේම දෙයක්නේ.
CBL සමපෝෂ දයක් නංවන පෝෂණය.